Hello there, my name is Alisha Schafer. I am from Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and my PDGA number is 69838. I'm represented by Discraft Underground and Wolfpack Discs. We will start today with my putting putters. I putt with the Soft X Challengers. They provide a really straight flight for me. The grip on them is awesome. I like the softer feel, and I like that if you happen to hit the cage or you're on a hill, it'll just sit and stop rather than roll away. I also have two other challengers in my bags. These ones are for throwing. This one here is another Soft X Challenger. I use this one for short approach shots, straight shots, and then I also throw it off the tee for Anheuser shots, about 250 and in. I'm confident that it will hold that Anheuser line and not come back at the end of it. The other Challenger I have is an ESP Challenger. The plastic is a little bit more durable than the Soft X variety, and I can put a little bit more power behind it and be confident that it'll hold the line that I put it on. And the last of my throwing putters are going to be the Zone. The Zone is super overstable. It does exactly what you'd expect it to do. I use it more so for forehand approaches and get out of trouble shots. I throw a lot of forehand rollers with this. The Zone will fight through a lot of things, especially a headwind or low-hanging branches. The Zone is what I look for. I also throw the 2015 Ledgestone Edition Ringer. This one here is any straight shot that I have that's about 200 to 250 in. This one here I can put a lot of power behind. It'll hold up in a headwind, and it'll always have that reliable hyzer finish to it at the end of it. Next up is my mid-ranges. I throw a Buzz OS. This one here is my most overstable mid-range. I use it for forehands, off the tee for shorter approach shots, and also for hyzer shots and into a headwind. On the other end of the spectrum, I have the Meteor. This one here is super glidey, can throw it through the woods, hyzer flip style, or just throw it flat and have it have a slow Anheuser finish to it. And the last of my mid-ranges is the Buzz. This is the most thrown disc in my bag. Anytime that I have a tee shot that is 300 and in and it's going straight, this is the disc I look for. It also holds pretty much any line that you put it on. If you want it to be an Anheuser shot, it'll hold that Annie line. If you want it to be a hyzer shot, it'll hold that slow hyzer shot for you. This is, like I said, the most used disc in my bag other than my putting putters. And next up is the DGA pipeline. I'm into my fairway drivers now. This disc here is super understable. I'm able to put it out on an Annie and it'll hold that line. It's also great for hyzer flip shots to straight through the woods. I play a lot of woods golf, so this is one that I bust out a lot. The next step up to that is the Discraft Heat. This is a Z Heat. It is a Wolfpack disc stamped. I am told that this run is a little bit more stable than most heats, and it's probably why I like it so much. I can use it to shape shots through the woods, slow fading hyzer shots this is great for. It'll also hold an Annie line if you need it to hold an Annie line. Like I said, it's just kind of a more stable version of my pipeline. I also throw the Hellfire. This is super overstable, most overstable disc in my bag. I use this for forehands off the tee. I use it for hyzer skip shots. I use it for spike hyzers. I also use it a lot for get out of trouble shots. If I'm in a sticky situation in the middle of the woods and there's not really a whole lot to get me out, usually bust out this one just to get me out back to the fairway because it'll fight through a lot of things. Last but not least is my drivers. My most understable driver is my Z-Flex Thrasher. This thing goes pretty far for being so understable. This is super gummy. I can throw it pretty much straight up and down on the hyzer flip, and it'll flip up through the woods, and it'll have a slow anhyzer finish to it. I also bust it out for big anhyzers around trees if I need to. If I threw rollers, this is probably what I would use for my roller disc as well. I also throw a Wolfpack Disc Z Crank SS. This one here I use for a little bit longer shots than my Thrasher will allow. I can hyzer flip it and it'll have a slow S turn to it, and eventually it will come out of it. I can also throw it hyzer flips through the woods. Anytime that there's a tailwind or no wind at all and I need a lot of distance, this is one that I bust out. The last two discs that I have are both ESP cranks. This green one here is a 167, an older run of the ESP plastic. It feels great in my hand. ESP plastic is super grippy. This one here, it bombs. It is my farthest throwing frisbee. I can throw it flat and it'll have a pretty wide S turn to it, but it'll always come back at the end of it. If there's a little bit of a headwind or I need a little bit harder of a hyzer finish, I will grab my max weight ESP. This one here is a 2018 Ledgestone swirly ESP. And it goes almost as far as my green one does, but it does have a bit more of a finish to it. And other than that, that's about all I carry in my bag. I usually have quite a bit of snacks with me because I get hungry during long tournament rounds. Always have extra water with me. I tend to carry about 4 or 5 towels with me everywhere I go, even if it's not raining, you never know when you might need one. And then I also carry my mitten bag with me everywhere I go. This thing keeps my hands dry in the rain, in the hot, just about any time. Always reach for your mitten bags. And I would also like to give another shout out to Discraft Underground. Thank you, Wes and Bob, for letting me be a part of the team. And also thanks to Wolfpack Discs for believing in me all year. Head on over to their website, wolfpackdisc.com, and enter Grace2018 into the coupon code to save yourself 10%.